Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today for our session on MCP for PostgreSQL. I'm your host, Annie, and with me, I have the speaker of the day, who is Warda Bibi, a PostgreSQL consultant at Stormatics. So before I hand over the controls to Warda, and she does a deep dive on how to make sure AI agents get safe access to your production database, I will go over a few usual housekeeping items. This webinar is being recorded. You will receive the recording afterwards. If you have any questions throughout the session, please please feel free to use either the webinar chat box or the Q&A feature, and we'll get to them at the end of the session. And that's it from my end. Over to you, Arda.
Thanks, Annie. Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining. Today, we are going to talk about something which sits at the intersection of two topics which people have really strong opinions about. AI agents, which everyone know how radically it's changing the way we work, and your production databases, which most of you, I'm sure, would not want an AI agent to sit nearby. So by the end of this session, I just want to deliver the idea that these two things can actually coexist and that too safely. And I'm going to show you exactly how we can achieve this. So let's get started. Okay, a quick bit about me. I graduated college with a computer science degree in 2024. And right after that, I worked as a backend developer. And that's where I was working a lot of time around databases. And then I eventually started working as a full-time database consultant with Stormatics. These days, most of my work is just production databases, performance tuning, high availability. And a lot of my work is spent understanding why things are running slow and what to do actually, how to make them run faster. I also write about Postgres and I publish them on Postgres Planet based on the incidents that I learned from client environments. So you can also take a look at the blogs over Postgres Planet. Okay, yeah, that's about me. Let's get into what we are covering today. So here's the agenda. We'll start from zero. We'll try to understand what is MCP. So in case if you have never worked with MCP or you don't know what it is, you will get to understand it. And then we'll go deeper into specific MCP server. We'll understand the Postgres ecosystem for MCPs, and then we'll talk about one specific open source MCP we have for Postgres, and we will experiment with it. We'll see how it handles health checks, how it performs workload analysis, or uh, all in all, how it does performance tuning. And since this is something AI related and it connects to the database, so we'll also look at the security model and access control because that's the part that we should always be thinking about before connecting anything to the production database, right? So we'll understand how the access is enforced within the code in this MCP. And at the end of this session, I'll also show a live demo. And as always, if you have any questions, please drop them in the chat box and we'll take them at the end. Okay, so let's start with a scenario that I'm sure most of you would have experienced if you are working with databases in some way or form. You get a notification from client or your monitoring system, something is off, counts are not moving, or the database is running slow. And when you get this ping, there are a few common aspects of the database that you first want to check before trying to in order to understand what's causing the slowdown, right? You would typically check what are the active queries. For those queries, what are the wait events? Is it bottlenecked on CPU or IO? Are there any logs that are blocking the active queries? The tables that are involved in those queries, what does the bloat look like on those tables? If there's bloat on those tables, when was the last time auto vacuum ran on this table? Or you'd also like to check what are the slow queries from, let's say, PG state statements, or you would also, if there are slow queries, you would check if there are any missing indexes, or you would check cache hit ratio or logs. But the point is that these are the main areas or main aspects that which are common and you would want to take a look into when you encounter an incident. And no matter what the actual incident turns out to be, you will always run through more or less the same checklist before you will narrow down what the actual problem is. And that's the point, that since regardless of the incident, you are running the same checklist, which is repeatable and predefined set of queries that are checking certain aspects of the database. These repeatable and predefined steps can be automated, right? And how can we automate this? We can just write a script that run all the queries that are collecting information from all of these aspects of the database, which is easy. We have At the end of running the script, we have all the information that we need. But collecting the information itself is not the hard part. The hard part is actually the analysis. When you get the information, how are you going to analyze all the information